In this video, we're going to look at how we can connect a voiceover to Boris Effects Continuum 2024's brand new audio visualizer, an incredible effect that's going to respond to the beat of your music or audio source. The best thing is you can choose from tons of presets. Now, before we use Audio Visualizer, we're going to clean up our audio with Crumple Pop Complete, all inside of Final Cut Pro. Let's dive into our timeline. Okay, I'm here inside of a Final Cut Pro project where I have an audio source, not to mention a title from Continuum FCP that you can find in the Titles and Generators sidebar. First off, let's select the audio and just play it back with the / key from in to out.
With My Spot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it. With My Spot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it.
As you can hear, the audio source is very echoey. One thing we can do is use Final Cut Pro's voice isolation feature, which is a one-slider effect. However, since I want to have a bit more control over the echo and the voice, this is where Crumple Pop comes into play. With my audio selected, I'm inside of my audio effects, and in the Crumple Pop Complete category, let's apply Echo Remover. Now, with this selected, I'll press the / key to play this back once again.
With My Spot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it.
And you can hear it's already cleaned up the audio quite a bit. Let's dive in a little bit deeper. Inside of my audio inspector, I can see Echo Remover Complete, and I'm going to click on the UI badge on the top right in order to see more of the parameters. If you're just starting off with Crumple Pop, you can click the info icon just beneath the waveforms in order to find out which each property or knob does. I'll turn this off temporarily and actually turn off Echo Remover so we can hear the original audio source, and I'll press the / key.
With My Spot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it.
Now, I'll turn Echo Remover on, and as it's turned on, dial up the strength of this effect to see what it does.
With My Spot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it. With My Spot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it.
As you can see, by simply just dragging up the strength slider, we're removing more of that echo. But to go further, I'll rely on the knobs here at the bottom, and first start off with dryness. Since I already have looped playback turned on, I can do this in real time by simply pressing the / key.
With My Spot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it. With My Spot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it.
I'll also adjust the body and tone.
With My Spot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it.
As you can see, those last two controls, body and tone, affected the voice. Since I'm now happy with these actual effects, one thing we can do is after we're complete is actually save this as a preset. I'm going to head to this menu here on the top left and then just choose Save Preset here, where I'll call this ER Prefer. Once I press Save, that's now going to be available for the drop down here inside this UI window, which I'll close, not to mention here under the preset section within Final Cut for ease of use the next time you have an audio source just like this. Now, in order to connect this to Audio Visualizer, we need to export the audio first. So I'll just press Command E in order to export this and head to my Settings tab to make sure this is audio only. You can choose an audio format of WAV, MP3, or AIFF. I'll choose WAV, choose Next, and just save this directly to an Audio Visualizer folder that I already have set up. Now, inside of Final Cut, let's scroll up to the top of the effects, and you can simply go to the BCC Time category or do a search down here for BCC Plus Audio Visualizer. Inside the Video Inspector, we can click on the Select Audio badge, choose the audio source that we want, and once we click on Open, we'll be able to see some frequencies right away. Let's play that back.
With My Spot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it.
In addition to frequencies, if we head into the generator section, we could also choose an audio style of waveforms as well, and then several different vertical and dot styles to design our visualizer. In this case, I'm just going to rely on some of the presets that ships with this incredible effect. So I'll head to the effects editor by clicking on the badge, and over here on the left, I can see all of the presets available, which I can also get a sense for how it moves by clicking on the play button. But in this case, since it is a voiceover, I'll head to the top of this effect and just do a search for podcast. And I'll first select this podcast circle 1. In order to see the original text layer that I applied it to, I'm going to go to the background section of this effect in parameters and change the background mode to source. Since this visualizer is warped on a circle, I know some of the properties that are in play are in the polar warp section. One great thing is that we can play with the inner and outer radius to make it bigger or smaller. Not to mention, we can play with the swirling radius depending on how we'd like it to look. Once we click on the Apply button, this is going to travel back over to Final Cut Pro. Let's go to the beginning of the timeline and do a full screen playback.
With MySpot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it.
Now, even better is that we can apply multiple audio visualizers to one given source. Let's take a look at that. In this case, I'm going to actually create a compound clip, which will contain the title and the first audio visualizer effect. Press OK, and then apply another version of audio visualizer now to that compound clip. All I have to do in the video inspector is go to Select Audio. We'll choose that wave audio source. And let's head back to the effects editor where I'll do a search for podcast. And let's choose the podcast circle 3 in this case, heading to background, setting this up as a source. And in order to change the color to match, we have 2 options. One is we can go to the gradient section where we have 3 colors to choose from. In this case, I'll disable that and choose to go to the generator section where only one color is going to affect this visualizer. I'll select my eyedropper and sample some color from the first visualizer that was applied. Once I press OK, I'll close out the generator and gradient section and head to Polar Warp once again, where I could start to play a bit more with how I would like this to look. And once I apply, everything travels over into Final Cut Pro. Let's give that a full screen playback.
With MySpot, you can easily see what you need for your home without ever leaving it.
And that's how easy it is to use Audio Visualizer from Continuum 2024 inside of Final Cut Pro, not to mention cleaning up your audio with Crumple Pop's Echo Remover. For more tips and tricks just like this, don't forget to subscribe and check us out at boriseffects.com.